What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just being you for the day.
What do you mean?
Playing video games, drinking a beer, having some snacks, just sitting around doing nothing. What are you doing?
I'm being you for the day.
Oh, really? So you think I just stand in the kitchen and stare out the window all day?
No, I'm trying to think of ways to start an argument.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Women are now starting to compete for men's peace. Yes.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. You see that? Winter is coming.
Who's advocating for the average man?
Wait a minute.
Fuck you mean?
Y'all saw that, right?
What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Rome back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So, women are competing with men's peace. Men have become comfortable being single. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Women are now starting to compete for men's peace. Yes. The dating game is starting to turn around, man. Have y'all noticed how easy it has become to conversate and talk to women? Have y'all noticed that? See, women aren't competing for anything else other than a man's peace. Now, what you guys must understand is that men have started to realize that peace is worth more than women, than companionship, because women have these crazy standards and they have these crazy stipulations and games that they want to play that men have said, you know what? We ain't approaching them no more. We're not even about to try no more. We just about to sit here and, you know what I'm saying? Just go on this path where it's just them. And now women are starting to realize that, and they are starting to shift the game around. Now, men are starting to understand that, hey, if I'm alone, I ain't got to spend no money. If I'm alone, I don't have to worry about managing somebody else's emotions. There are a lot of benefits to being alone, you know. And men are starting to realize that. And women are now starting to compete for men's peace, because now they're like, okay, I can be your peace. Now they're trying to make themselves a man's peace, which they should have been doing from the beginning. But yeah, man, women are now starting to compete for their peace.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves. Men no longer prioritize women. The man at peace is an unbuyable man. Some women are still thinking that men are in that scenario of chasing after, calling, despairing for the lack of a woman, for her absence, when in reality, today's man, he is increasingly valued. He understood that a woman is not the center of his life, that a woman is not the most important thing in the world. It is perfectly possible to live without one. Today's high-value man, he seeks to make money. He seeks to do business. He seeks to grow, to develop himself. He removed women from his focus. Today's man, he realized that his peace is worth more. There is no relationship that can buy his peace. Today's man, he is unbuyable. He is non-negotiable. The peace he chose for his life has become non-negotiable. If you are a woman and are waiting for a man to venerate you, a man to idolize you, a man to dote on you, I'm very sorry, but perhaps that won't happen. Because the more time passes, the more we have seen that today's generation of men is not like the generation of old. And it is we women who have been losing high-value men, serious men, hardworking men, dedicated men.
And here's what I come to realize, and you know what? I'm glad that brother said alone and not lonely, because y'all know that's the narrative that they want to push. But MGTOW has been a thing for a long time now. And you're starting to see more brothers, not even more so MGTOW, but just taking the time to separate themselves from women and work on themselves, which is kind of funny because I remember there was a time where you was hearing women say that quite a bit. When they were saying if you wasn't making a certain amount of money, work on yourself and da-da-da-da-da. And now that men are actually doing that, women feel a way about it. It's funny, it's like, it just goes to show you that when we come on here and we tell y'all to not take what these women say seriously, but then when men actually do follow through, do y'all see how they react? More often than not, it seems like their reaction is the complete opposite of what they asked for in the first place. Crazy work. But yeah, he's 100%, both of them are correct. Because I've been seeing videos of women saying that men are competing with women's peace. But I just think that's a bunch of bullshit, bro. Because for women, peace is boring. For men, we enjoy it far more than women do. I think the women that say that, those are usually like women that are like well into their 40s and 50s. So let's keep.
Because to them, peace looks like happiness. And they don't like happiness when they're not around. She's not going to preserve your peace. And I know there's some women in here like, no, I'll preserve my man's peace. And you're a fucking liar. Because think about a time your man was in the room by himself, staring off into the distance, smiling. And you walk past the room. Did you look at him and go, he looks happy. I'm going to leave him by himself. He looks happy. Or did you go, the fuck is he smiling about? It better be me. It better be fucking me.
See, and all the women in there laughing because they know what he said is true, bro. Because I actually kind of covered this a little bit in a couple of videos recently. One where the most recent one of the woman that was calling out that girl for filming those dudes and showing themselves and filming themselves having a good time at a concert, which kind of reminded me of the time that the same thing happened with some brothers at a Kendrick, I think it was at the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just, again, like just this very, very weird behavior where women act like men can't be happy without them, and then when y'all see it, y'all feel a way about it. This is the reason why they're pushing the male loneliness epidemic so hard, guys, because they can't feel better about themselves without them thinking that we feel worse. That's how this works. I've been trying to tell you guys, bro, these women don't know how to elevate themselves without putting down men.
So crazy that men are taught to never put themselves first. In fact, it started at a young age when they're told, boys don't cry, you're strong, you protect, you provide. Fast forward to today, y'all wonder why men walk around emotionally shut down, burnt out, and feeling like they're not seen. And it's mostly because they're raised like machines, not taught to be human beings. And it's not that they don't got feelings, it's just they was taught to not honor how they feel. They were taught to not give a fuck about how they feel. And if they're trained to not give a fuck about how they feel, what makes them think anybody else was going to give a fuck about how they feel? When in reality, some people don't give a fuck about how they feel. They're taught that their value is in what they can give and what they can do for you, not in who they are as a freaking person. They love without getting love back. They work until they about to break. They're a rock to everybody around them while they're crumbling inside. And and don't let him get tired. God forbid if he gets tired or he even asks for help, then he's labeled as weak. I don't like how time, energy, and peace is taken from men, but was never taught how to replenish themselves, was never taught how to pour back into their cup. And this is why men walk around fighting silent battles and suppressed emotions. Imagine how life would be if men were able to actually speak on how they feel and never be looked at or labeled as weak. Understand that men need love and they need grace too.
Yeah, sounds like she understands why the men would rather be by themselves.
A male loneliness epidemic, then consequently there would be also a female loneliness epidemic, right? Because I hear so many women saying that as if it's some flex, like, yeah, the male loneliness epidemic. Like, okay, well, if men are lonely, then so are the women. Because, I mean, unless that's just a code for y'all sleeping with each other, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm just asking because to me that it only makes sense. Like, if males are lonely, then the women are lonely too, unless y'all just teaming up with other women and y'all just, you know, being together. Like, help me understand why y'all say that as if it's some big flex. Are you trying to come out the closet?
No, it makes them feel morally superior when they're really just morally biased. Don't ever forget that, fellas.
Men don't need you for cooking, cleaning, or sex. All of that can be outsourced. What they can't buy is peace, loyalty, respect, and character. And that's where most of you lose. Because if you bring chaos into a man's life, no meal, no favor, no bedroom trick is gonna make him stay. You're not competing with another woman. You're competing with his peace, and peace is winning. So either bring value or make room for another woman who will.
I'm glad to finally hear more women's making this point, because this is one of the things that I think frustrate men and women don't understand, especially when it comes to the saying, what do you bring to the table? This is what men are referring to, because especially the women that are over here basically demanding that they have a man come in and provide for them, provide a lifestyle. My thing is with those type of women, if that's what you're looking for, a man that can afford to do that can outsource pretty much everything that you can offer. So that's the dilemma with trying to find that type of a man. This is one of the reasons why this type of conversation always bother me. These elitist conversation, he gotta be a provider, he gotta pay for everything. It's like, okay, that sounds all good, fine and dandy, man, but you gotta bring something of value that's gonna make him feel like he's safe to make that investment. You feel me? Because it's like, essentially, a lot of everything you offering can be outsourced. That's just what it is. This is why I always say when women are looking for that type of man, they immediately give away their leverage, but they don't think that. But deep down, I think they do. That's why they got to come over here and hit you with all the sign language about it. But let's keep it moving.
Ladies, you want to know why it's so damn hard to get a man's full attention these days? Let me tell you the difference between our two little worlds. He's competing with 50 to 100 to 1,000 guys in your DMs, right? And you think you're competing with all these girls that are after him. Not how it works. You're competing with his peace. Everything he has worked so hard to get to because of the damages he's been through in his life. Because as men, we're not really... You don't show pain. You don't show feelings. You have them. That shit better be put in check. We're taught emotional control at a very young age because no matter how bad life's kicking your ass, you learn to shut the fuck up and press on because nobody truly, at the end of the day, gives a fuck. That's how we're raised, and as shitty as it sounds, that's a fact. So, when you think you're competing with all these other girls, you're competing with his peace. If you come in trying to disrupt it, you're probably gone. Your looks ain't enough. Your niceness ain't enough. He needs your support. He needs you to keep him at peace. He needs to know that no matter how bad the demons are, when he comes home, he can rest them. You've seen that video where it's absolute chaos in the guy's head, and she walks in and puts her hand on his shoulder, and it goes quiet. If you're doing anything less than that, you're probably not going to keep him. So instead of the nagging nonsense, make sure you calm his demons, not ignite them.
I don't know why, but for some reason while he was talking, all I kept thinking about was that woman that went viral because her husband was sleeping out in the car because he was trying to stay away from her. Clearly, that is the type of woman that isn't bringing any type of peace into that relationship. Let's keep it moving.
A soft woman can influence a man more than a loud woman ever will, not through aggression, not through force, but through her femininity. Men are rarely moved by constant confrontation. They are often moved more by calm and peace. A loud woman often competes with a man's energy. She challenges, interrupts, escalates, and over time, the relationship can start to feel like a power struggle. A soft woman tends to do the opposite. Her calm lowers his guard. Her tone invites him instead of provoking him. Her presence can make him feel safe enough to step forward without feeling resisted. This is not weakness, it is influence. Many men respond instinctively to softness because it signals trust, respect, and emotional safety. When a man feels respected, he often puts in more effort. When he feels trusted, he becomes more protective. When he feels peace, he usually connects more deeply. That is why femininity can be powerful. It does not fight masculinity, it complements it naturally. If this made sense to you, comment true.
Man, not only am I going to comment true, word up, I hear all of that. That was 100% correct. I agree with all of that.
You can't make a relationship work with a woman who continues to give other men attention behind your back. Love cannot survive where loyalty is optional. You can pour your heart into her, prove your worth, and show up with pure intentions. But if her eyes and energy keep wandering, you will always feel like you are competing for what should already be yours. A woman who entertains others while claiming to love you isn't confused. She is disrespectful. She craves attention more than connection, validation more than value. And no matter how understanding, patient, or forgiving you are, you cannot heal a woman who enjoys being desired by everyone but committed to no one. Real love requires discipline, not distraction. A faithful woman protects your peace, not your paranoia. You deserve someone whose focus stays on you, not someone who keeps proving again and again that you were never enough to keep her attention in the first place.
Because I like my peace, first of all.
What if a woman brings you that?
There's no such thing as that.
You don't think there's no such thing as a woman bringing
There's
man
no
peace?
such thing as somebody living with you on a day-to-day basis is bringing peace. There's always going to be something, because you're going to have a bad day where I'll have a good day, and that's not going to be peaceful for me. I'm going to come home like, damn, baby, like I had a good... Something going to happen to where you going to hijack my emotions. So that's not peaceful. You feel me? Peace is peace. And peace is me by myself. I come home, I watch TV, I make my own food, I go to bed, I work out, I wake up at 5:30, I roll over in the bed, I lean this way, I fart, whatever I do, whatever, in my bed, that's peace. I'm cool, I can let loud snore, whatever. I ain't got nobody complaining about nothing.
You know what? I understand where Paul Pierce is coming from with this, because because he used that I'm glad he used that example, because think about it. If you're not cohabitating with a woman, and let's say you're on the opposite, let's say you're having a bad day instead of a good day, you're still going to have your peace, because you don't have to come home to somebody else who is going to disrupt that. Now, that's not to say that a woman can't make you feel better if you had a bad day, because, obviously I just kind of referred to that, use that example. So I don't want to get that twisted. However, I understand the point that he's making, because if you're not in that situation, then essentially a woman has to fall in line. Otherwise, it's like better off just not even living together, and we can just deal with each other on a more casual basis. But again, bro, hey, I will say this. Peace is gonna be tough competition for the ladies. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. Y'all let me know what you think, man. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Just make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that helps with the algorithm. It helps to reach a broader audience. Also, look out for the travel vlog channel as well as the rant channel. Both links are in the description. To the next video, y'all. Deuces.